Okay, I believe we're live. This is the full screen. I can't see if the little microphone thing is down there in the bottom, but I'll trust it's doing its thing. All right, so hello everyone. This is Verdi Arbusto of the Schumann Resonance Harmonics channel on YouTube and Facebook, and in the Akashic Records too. I have been assured. So it is, it's Saturday, like the 9th, 10th of October, 10/10. It's a portal day. All right. And so, welcome. This is part 2 of the Susan Alexander webpage. It's a video I'm making of her webpage, on the F sharp and matching the tones. So the reason, this was, again, it was a reference from one of my subscribers to go over and point her out, because we're talking about a number of interrelated things of the Schumann as a resonance, but there is also this kind of bleed over of a resonance you also can hear, and it's being registered as a ringing in the ears. And how is this so? How is this happening in your ears? It's being picked up by magnetic induction of the cochlear coil of the inner ear. Okay, so there is a scientific principle upon which we're relying in my crackpot theory that how are you hearing the Schumann resonances? All right, so in our attempt to look scientifically into this as a thing of concern to the Schumann resonances, how is it? Okay, so here we go. This is what we're talking about is the ringing sensation, which it may be a steady tone or it may be a variable frequency. How is it related to the Schumann resonances? If this tone is related to the EM information, which would stay, again, we have resonances that stay stable. They're not raising in frequency. Okay, the amplitude goes up and down, but the frequency of a resonances stays consistent at approximately 7.83. Okay, so if that's the case, you should hear, and then there's the other one, the next one up at 14.1, and then 20.7. And then 27 or whatever it is. We've talked about this. You should hear a continuous, consistent tone. All right. So we're back to Susan Alexander's article. All right. So I read this, part 1. I read through all this, collecting data, capturing. All right. So where I'm at in the narrative is the Great Pyramid at Giza. Okay, so I'm not going to read through that. I am going to read through this part here, where it talks about the Schumann resonances. All right. So it says, the Schumann resonances. Not only are we about 75% water, we are also literally swimming in the Schumann resonances. These electromagnetic frequencies, mostly infrasonic and unheard, occur in the cavity between the storms and the sun. Okay. The basic frequency, 7.8 hertz, creates a standing wave around the Earth, traveling around the Earth 7.8 times a second. Okay. The figure fluctuates by plus or minus 0.5 hertz a day as the ionosphere fluctuates. In addition to this base frequency of 7.8 hertz, there are quasi-harmonics, rounded off, at 14, 19, 25, 30, 36, and 42 hertz. That is definitely rounded off. Corresponding to the following tones: B and C, A, D sharp, G, G sharp, B, D, and E and F. So far, no F sharps, but a curious thing happens when these frequency numbers are octavized up. Instead of the usual doubling to create the octave above, i.e. the octave above 440 is 880, the method used in linear harmonics and standard physics when working with the harmonics of a sphere, the rules are different. Instead of reaching an exact doubling of the original number, a slight collapse takes place and the upper number is less than an octave. When you octavize the Schumann resonances into our hearing range, 6 of the 7 tones are F sharps, A sharps, C sharps. The 7th is a D sharp. As they ascend, they become even more like the pyramid chords, which are F, F sharp, A sharp, C, and C sharp. I haven't a clue what this means beyond imagining a theoretical tuning taking place in our physical plane. See first reference. Sorry. So far, we have collected F-sharp data from the traditional sciences of acoustics, spectrophotometry, water, and DNA and physics. The 5th source derives from astronomy, but has a fascinating story attached to it in the origin of the Sumerian god Ea. Okay? Okay. So I want to read that. There's other interesting stuff on here. The Pyramid of Giza. I'm going to recommend that you go over there yourself and read this and look at this up. They talk about the King's Chamber and all of that. This is a relatively short video, so I only want to stick with the Schumann resonances. All right, but now this is all right, so we're back here to where I was. This is part 1. I'm not going to go over this, but what I want to do is start working with people, talking with people. I want people to leave comments on this video, on part 1, part 2, and read more. Go over here, read more of what Susan Alexander is saying. All right. But also, since this is YouTube, I'm posting this for YouTube. This is my my channel here, and what I want to do is introduce people who may not know. I have made some previous videos where I'm talking about when I'm introducing the topic. I'm assuming that you've never heard me, never seen me before. This is my YouTube channel. I have there's 3 videos specifically about the ringing. There's 5 altogether that deal with the ringing and the vertigo. So there's a part 1, part 2 of this. This one here, I talk about the high-pitched squeal, how your ear is like a magnetic inducer, magnetic induction coil. This one here, I introduce the discussion of the piezoelectric principle and how it relates to the vertigo that you're getting. And this one here is the vertigo and the ringing and how it's all together based on the crystals in your head, in the ear. And the hairs that cause the ringing. So I want to start having a place where people can go to group, jointly, communally discuss and related symptoms and more. So please leave comments. Go over to my other videos, comment there. And leave comments here under this video. I appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you. Let's all get together instead of fighting each other and kind of tearing each other apart. Let's look at the things we have in common, and let's work on those. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate the love and support that everyone's given me. And I couldn't do this without people giving me positive support. And I give you the best positive message that I can.